What's up? It's your boy Carcino here, and let's talk about it. After the first Avengers film, which basically set the stage for Winter Soldier, a lot of people didn't realize that they continued with the script in the direction that they already had the pieces in place. What's up? Now that the piece they had in place was Josh Whedon used the pieces from the original Avengers script and mended it together because the Avengers was written as one gigantic story. And when they had that story in there, they said, well, let's use the parts we didn't use and present. And part one, we could present in the Ultron, which is Hulk versus Hulkbuster. That was going to be included in the Ultron original. That was from the original Avengers script. Because I told you in the first script, Hulk was the main villain. Loki was the secondary villain who was moving behind the scenes. But them trying to recruit the Hulk, and the Hulk didn't know that they were trying to recruit him. He thought they were trying to kill him. It took all of the Avengers to get the Hulk, into a position where they can explain to him that they needed him. And then he finally joins the Avengers. And as you saw at the end, he finally came to realization to join them in the end and link up with the Avengers, but he was never a part of the Avengers. But they weren't going to stop Loki without the Hulk. So the scene where the Hulk joins him was based on that fact. But Hulk versus Hulkbuster scene was supposed to happen in the very first Avengers. They saved it for this film, Age of Ultron, as they were introducing all of these other characters. And this was the fallout of what was happening with Hydra. In Ultron, the Revenge of Ultron, they were going to have Tony bring in Ultron and have Ultron created somewhere in space. They decided to have the Mind Gem and have him as a part of the Mind Stone. That Ultron's program, the housing that was around the Mind Stone, actually created Ultron, and his personality came from the Mind Stone. So part of the Mind Stone's personality is implanted into the program that is known as Ultron. Now, they were going to originally have that doctor work with Tony to help create Ultron. And they just felt that was too confusing, so they cut the doctor out. Now, the biggest reveal in this new Age of Ultron script is the introduction of Captain Marvel. Captain Marvel was going to make her appearance in the Age of Ultron. And they decided to go with Quicksilver. Then they decided that maybe we should have all three of them in there, like a mini link-up series, and then we're going to launch Captain Marvel. So the Captain Marvel, they said, well, let's not do it this way because, Josh is like, I don't think him and Kevin Feige was like, I don't think this is the right fit for Captain Marvel. People are going to see her on the screen and go, who is that? And then they got to go and find out who she is. We should just give her a proper rollout instead of just throwing her into the wolves. And we're already introducing too many characters with Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver. So when they decided to bring in Quicksilver, it was at the same time X-Men were doing Days of Future Past, and they had their own version of Quicksilver. So they knew that there would be two Quicksilvers in the Marvel Universe, but they were convinced that theirs would not be a problem to have him there. Then, in the original script, Quicksilver lives. He gets shot 47 times. They actually written it in the script. Wow, I survived 47 shots. He wakes up next to his sister on one of those rescue pods. And in the original script, Ultron doesn't die. He's stuck in one of the robotic forms as one of these like microchips. He is stuck in like some scrap yard where all of them, where they do the research, they came and scrapped up all the pieces. Ultron is still alive. Now, a lot of the movie that's played out, it's almost just like the original script, with the Iron Legion being part of the movement. When Ultron took over, and he came in and took over in this script that they have here, and he got the vibranium and everything else, and the Avengers were so slow, and he kept outsmarting them and getting away. As they keep fighting one form, he's got his army and legion, doing his bidding. Now, in the original script, he took control of the Iron Legion, and Tony's own regime was working for him. And in the script we see now, that we've seen in the movie theater, in the finished product, we've seen he had the original what's his name? The Iron Legion. Sorry about that. He had the Iron Legion for about a couple of minutes. Seemed like. Didn't seem like for a long time did he have the Iron Legion. He had them for a hot second, and then they all got broken up in Stark's house. And that was the end of the Iron Legion. And he just started making his own force of soldiers, where it was like many of them, because they needed a vast army, and they knew Tony wouldn't have a vast amount of army for the Avengers to kill, because the Avengers can't kill humans. They won't have that, so they need something to be smashing up on. So good, some aliens and some humans. And if you watch the first Avengers and the second Avengers, it's the same movie. Instead of New York City, they're in Sokovia. And instead of the Jatari, they're fighting android robots and just smashing them up into pieces and taking them down with arrows. It's the same movie. Instead of Loki, now it's Ultron. It's played out the same exact way. Now, the problem with this, and this is why I like the original script, the Avengers were scattered. Part of Ultron's strategy was to start conflict in 3 different locations to thin out the Avengers. So his grand scheme wasn't to take Sokovia, lift it in the sky, and throw it down on Earth. That was the distraction. He had other things happening in 2 other locations, in which Captain Marvel had to come in and fight in one area and assist him, because they were stretched out so thin that the Avengers in all 3 locations could not come together. That was part of Ultron's strategy, is to separate them. So this is how he was trying to make Vision. At the same time, they were trying to stop this machine from taking Sokovia into the sky and crashing it. All of these things were happening at the same time. So the final act, where they blow up Sokovia, wasn't really the main finish. That was just a distractional piece while he was trying to create Vision. And then he was fighting Captain America, because Captain America wasn't in Sokovia. in the original script. He was trying to stop Ultron in the city at Stark Tower from trying to create Vision. Him, Romanoff, and Hawkeye were on that mission. And all the other ones, Iron Man and Thor, they were trying to stop the sky. They were over there in Sokovia trying to stop what was happening there with the land flying. Meanwhile, Captain America and those guys were trying to fight over there, so they was cut off into two locations. Then there was a third location where Ultron was ended up fighting, which ended up being Captain Marvel. So the original script had three things going on at the same time. Three different battle scenes. But what we did, we saw them in different parts. So the part we saw where they actually create Vision is actually where the Captain American scene in the street, and it actually played out better in the movie. But Dr. Cho, she eventually has Amadeus Cho, who's one of the smartest guys in the world. So the introduction into her is going to give her the idea to tamper with her son, and Amadeus Cho will be introduced in the new phase 4 of Marvel. How they tune to do it is going to be incredible. Now, they tampered with bringing in Quicksilver, because at the end, Quicksilver is shot up, and because of the emotions of her brother being wounded, Scarlet Witch joins the Avengers. Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch joins, and they turn on Ultron, and that was the reason they were able to get the advantage on Ultron, is that Scarlet Witch and her brother turned against him. Well, it didn't happen the way that you thought. Vision was originally supposed to be programmed with Ultron. Ultron put his likeness inside of Vision. Captain Marvel, Vision was so unstoppable that they had to get Captain Marvel involved in order to stop Vision. When Vision was first born, he had the Mind Stone, and he didn't know he was basically all Ultron, but just not completely. He wasn't 100%. So even at 70, he was awake and alert, and he was able to move around. He just wasn't fully there. So when they able to knock him down, they were able to put Jarvis inside the rest of Ultron, which created Vision. They actually have a scene on the bonus where there's a larger fight scene with Vision and the Avengers on the Age of Ultron bonus disc when he first wakes up. That is cut out of the film because it makes it look like he's part of Ultron, and it really takes away from the script before he comes to realization. Like, he starts processing things. So just the 30% of Jarvis mixed in with Ultron was enough to bring him to rational solutions. I mean, we could all say that, but It is what it is.
It's just sleek, elegant, futuristic.
I mean, it's Tony's house, so it had to be, it had to be flashy.
I don't know of anyone in the history of any Supergirl franchise who seems to have never run out of money.
He also wanted it all to be connected. He wanted to be able to move from downstairs to upstairs and vice versa. We needed to perform for Tony's world, for Banner's world, and then float down into sort of the gaming area of the HQ, which was a little bit more fun.
If you look carefully at the details, you'll see there's a camp poster, there's stuff for Hawkeye, there's stuff that probably lab or Tony's working for all of the team. This is really our sort of giant science fiction space, and we put it at the beginning of the film because it has this grand, optimistic, things are going well feeling. We have a party here at the house. We wouldn't have a house party here.
We ended up realizing we had this big Avengers power set.
So, what you're looking at is the set from one of the opening scenes of the movie, where they spent a lot of money and a lot of time on. Now, Avengers Age of Ultron didn't get the rave reviews as the first one did, because it was kind of the same old, same old. It was like everybody was like walking through their roads. Because in between this, most of the guys had been doing their own movies. Captain America had Winter Soldier. He was pretty much solidified as doing his own movie. Thor had The Dark World. You know, that was out. So he had his movie going. They all had their directions and where they were going. So you're introducing new characters. Scarlet Witch, and they decide to kill Quicksilver off just to say, well, let's kill Quicksilver because we don't want to have this continuous confusion with the X-Men version and our version, and let's just kill them off. Plus, it'll show them that, you know, the stakes are high. But you did that already in the first Avengers with Agent Coulson. So it kind of mimicked the same thing, the same feel, same routine that we've already seen beforehand. But Captain Marvel was supposed to stop Ultron. She was the one that was going to come in there and beat Ultron. But it would have been the wrong introduction into Captain Marvel. That's why before this movie came out, it was announced that they were going to do a Captain Marvel movie with Carol Danvers. And originally they had another actress to play the part. Margot Robbie, who ended up being in the DC universe, playing Harley Quinn, was supposed to play Carol Danvers, not Brie Larson. Brie Larson was selected after Margot Robbie decided to take the DC Suicide Squad and get her own movie. Well, it wasn't a bad move for her because she got paid more. And Marvel wasn't promising another big, movie for her. And that's what she wanted. She wanted more creative control, which she has now in this new Harley Quinn movie. She has creative control. She's going to be part producer of the film. Marvel wasn't Marvel wasn't budgeting that, which means she's going to make more money off that film than she would doing Captain Marvel, where Marvel would make a lot of the money. So hopefully everyone can understand that. Well, the thing about DC is you never know what it actually is. We don't know if that's the original Joker or the guy who inspired the Joker. We just don't know. You have to wait and see. Where Marvel movies are more like fantasy world than it is reality. DC is more grit. It's more realistic. It's more grimy, more dark. And it's like they darkened everything and turned everything into black man. To Batman. I said black man. That's funny. Superhero, black man. What's all this noise? Your superpowers going the F off on the police and anybody who he felt has done him wrong. Black man. What's going on over here? What you mean? Man, ain't no disturbance except for you over here messing with me. I was minding my own business. Black man. Black man. You will not see him fight crime no time past before noon. So if you commit a crime, better do it in the morning. Black man, there's a crime going on. Look, man, what time is it? 9:30. Man, don't come get me until afternoon. Yeah, I'm sleeping. Black man. Black man, you said you were going to hold a press conference at 3. It's 5 o'clock. I'm here, Hannah. Black man. Coming soon. Black man. We got him in there, but he won't talk. He won't give up information. What do you know about this crime, black man? I ain't no snitch. Black man. Coming soon. Oh yeah, you can super chat over here. The super chat button works over here for Screen Thing.